r/askreddit. What's something that you've never learned to do? Hold the light just right for my dad. Lol, that was a strategic failure. The sooner he got pissed, the sooner he'd send you back to whatever you were doing. I really want to understand how electricity works, like volts and amps and currents and watts and all that stuff. I've read and watched videos, but it just doesn't click for me. Try the book, There Are No Electrons. It reads more like a novel than a textbook. Going to sleep at a reasonable time. Been like this since I was a teen, and I don't see it changing anytime soon. Been that way more or less since I could talk. I had a bedtime when really young, but I'd play or read in bed. Parents eventually gave up on trying to force the issue. Sleeping just always seemed like a waste of time, especially at night when things were quiet and you could get stuff done. Skate on ice, which may be my only disqualification to become PM of Canada. You should be okay if you learned curling and lacrosse. Tie a tie. I'm 32 and have worn a tie about 5 times in my life and have to Google it every time. I've always wanted to learn how to write. I read a lot for school and work, but damn, when I read other people's works, I'm constantly astounded. Edit. Wow, thanks for all the advice. Thanks also for the upvotes. Who would have thought my inadequacies were so universally shared? Head over to r/writing if you haven't already. The main thing you must do in order to write is write. It doesn't have to be good, it just has to be done. And much of writing is rewriting, editing mostly. Also, read. Read a lot. Read good writing. But also read bad writing. Learn what works and what doesn't work. Read that crappy writing and then write a paragraph or two rephrasing what you just read in a way that you like. And write what you know. If you know nothing of elves and dwarves and shit, but you know a ton about medieval Slavic history, don't write about the fucking elves and dwarves and shit, write about medieval Slavic history. Learn a new language. Have tried multiple times and ways, but can't seem to stick with it, which sucks because I would love to be able to speak fluently in a second language. Drive. Don't worry, most people who do drive apparently never learned either. Swim underwater without holding my nose. I wish I could, but I just haven't really been able to get the hang of it. I was around 8 or so on a cruise when an older boy, around 11 or 12, saw me holding my nose when I went under the water in the pool, and he sat with me for a while and taught me. We would practice by putting our hands on the edge of the pool and ducking ourselves underwater, and he told me to exhale through my nose, over and over again until it stuck. Then he swam with me. Study, like seriously, how to just sit and study for several hours and do good without a breakdown every 50 seconds. Edit. A little late, but thanks to everyone who responded. The replies have amazing advice that'll definitely be helpful in my upcoming exams. Wish you all the best of luck. University taught me 2 huge lessons in studying. I cannot study in a traditional sense as I lose focus and walk away to find something to keep my attention. To fix this, I would always study with a movie playing. Now, it could not be a new movie, boring movie, or my favorites. It needed to be a movie I enjoyed and knew well. This was so I could turn and watch it for 5 minutes, know exactly what was happening, and easily return to my work without getting hooked. I have about 20 movies I have seen piecemeal an absurd amount of times. This would allow me to study for hours and effectively because the movie would occupy the portion of my mind that wasn't being taken by the work and would prevent daydreaming and walking away to find a roommate. The second is that I could not learn and take notes at the same time. I could only do one, so I picked learning. I would show 2 class and take out no paper or laptop and just listen. If there was a group problem, I would participate. This would be a terrible decision in some courses, but I took engineering, so anything my prof was teaching already existed in the textbook. Duplicating the textbook in my notes seemed redundant, so I focused on understanding the material from class and then pounding out problems at home. All this to say, don't try to teach yourself to study like you think you should study. Figure out how your mind learns. First year for me was rough, but my grades improved through the years as I figured out how to learn. Best of luck to you. You're going to crush studying. Talk to people without them talking to me first. I always end up feeling left out on stuff. Same here. I'm forcing myself to try new things. Like, there's a wood carving class I've signed myself up for, and I'm trying to say hello to a few people and to talk to the person I'm sat next to. I've been literally on my own every day for years now, so I'm trying to force myself to be a person again. Do a dad whistle using my fingers. Always wanted to do that shit. Edit. I just learned how to do it thanks to that first tutorial that was posted. Draw. Really wanted to be an artist, but life pushed me in another direction. I still want to draw, even professionally one day, but I have no teacher and I'm extremely poor. When I was 8-ish, I used to glue the tiny bit of pencil lead back onto another piece so I could use it. Didn't have paper, so I used to dumpster dive for sheets that weren't spoiled. Edit 1. Hey, thank you so much for the positivity. Let me clear some things up. I'm poor still, but I'm much better off. I've actually found a stash of unused art stuff my mom had, so there's my starting point. I'm going to try and draw one object a day, anything I see. Hopefully with the suggestions I have, like a draw box, I will get to a decent point and I'll try to work up from there. Thank you all. Any advice is greatly appreciated. How to express anger and frustration in healthy, constructive ways, but I'm working on it. Edit. Man, this blew up. There's a lot to digest here. Thanks to everyone for the kind words, suggestions, and just general relatability. It's comforting to know that my struggle to be my better self is not unique. Thank you. You can be mad at, mad with, or mad about. I'm mad at my toaster. It burnt my toast. The toaster doesn't care. I'm mad with my toaster. It burns my toast. I said it wrong. I'm mad about my toaster. It's hard to get the setting right. The timer is not trustworthy. If you need to be mad, okay, just be mad for a reason, and concentrate on communicating that reason. Breach of trust, unreasonable expectations, poor result, embarrassing surprise, etc. I hate what you did / what happened versus I hate you. Make friendships last. Find something truly worth doing, truly and deeply care about something or someone. I was really good at writing and speaking French back in school. Had aspirations to become fluent in the language and never really followed through on those aspirations. Now I barely remember how to construct a sentence. Omelette du fromage. Ride a bike. LMAO. I thought I was alone in the world. It's shocking to people every time it comes up. I just never really came up as a kid, so I never got a bike. Never learned. Knew I couldn't be the only one. Play a musical instrument. I have a bass guitar, but I'm just not understanding it. Tie my shoes using bunny ears. Don't give me that rabbit hole nonsense. It made no sense. I'll die this way. Never learned how to use chopsticks. Every time I go out to Asian restaurants, I pray they have forks already at the table. Sometimes when I ask, they bring me a fork no problem. One time they brought me the training tool they let 5-year-olds use on the chopsticks, all while the staff and my friends were laughing. Another time our waitress was gone for like 10 minutes, and when she finally came back, she had a tiny plastic fork she must have fished out from the back. Literally did not have forks. If they're the ones where you have to break them apart, then sometimes I'll keep them together and pull them apart slightly to pick up the food, so I don't have to deal with the embarrassment. Basic socializing. It's all a mystery to me, and I'm in my 30s. 60 years old and socially awkward as hell. I've kind of given up. I was shy as a kid. I'm still an introvert, but I feel as though I'm good at socializing. Here are my steps. Step 1. Ask a question about the person's life. Step 2. Listen to a person's response. Step 3. Ask follow-up questions. Get out of bed the first time my alarm goes off. Get a cat. Feed the cat a half hour after your alarm would go off. The cat will wake you up 5 minutes before your alarm every day and will not give up on you. How to turn off cat during weekends. I wouldn't say there's much to learn, but I am 30 years old and this summer will be the first time I have ever mowed a lawn. My older brother always did it. Edit. I'm fairly new to Reddit and this is the first time I've blown up like this. Thanks everyone. I'm the older brother in this situation. I'm gonna laugh when my Spike's brat of a younger brother has to do this stuff himself. Swimming. Had an abusive swimming instructor who would hold me under the water if I made a mistake or stopped swimming. Since then I am 20 and scared of swimming because the drowning traumatized me. Feeling for people who have recently lost someone in their life, death, breakups, etc. I have a robotic response and trouble feeling sympathetic, not because I don't want to, but because it doesn't come naturally at all. Some lady at my job lost her mom and was out all last week. I don't even know what to do when she walks by me or talks to me about something else now that she's back. I feel like a normal person who would tell her I'm sorry for her loss, but it feels awkward to me to even bring it up. If that's the case, act totally normal. Plenty of people are offering her sympathy, and some are probably taking it over the top because some people like to make everything about attracting attention to themselves. She probably just wants to get back to work and return to a sense of normalcy, and will appreciate you just being normal, assuming you are normally a decent person. If you're normally a jerk, go a little easy on her for a while. How to actually make friends as an adult. I left school at 16 or 17, normal in the UK, joined the military, and spent my second and third year in the job getting severely bullied by one of my seniors in rank who I initially considered a friend. I haven't really trusted any adults, I'm 21 currently, in friendships since all of that kicked off. Lord knows that I try, but I don't think I'll be able to trust anybody for any time soon. If you ever see the signs of somebody getting bullied, please step in and do what you can to make it stop. It literally ruins lives. How to deal with confrontation. My dad had anger issues when I was growing up and he would scream at us. It was terrifying, and now as an adult, I don't know how to handle arguments with anyone. I just get so scared and anxious. Please like, comment, and subscribe to make this child not cry.